afternoon. We have today Dr. Silke Nebel. She was basically one of our panelists at the workshop Science Policy 101 today. And she's here to share some of her expertise in this area specifically. So can you start basically, Dr. Nebel, to tell us a little bit about your research?
Sure. So my background is in biology, specifically in bird migration. I have worked all around the world, really, in Australia, Europe, Central America, the Arctic, and I studied bird ecology and also physiology.
Nice. So you have also worked as a policy analyst of different government organizations, and now you're teaching a graduate course in science policy. So can you share with us a little bit more about how this Science for Passion policy started, and what are your ideas to follow up on these steps?
Sure. So when I was a graduate student, I already felt that it's kind of too bad that a study really, in most cases, ends with the publication of in the peer-reviewed journal. I mean, that's the end goal, and often that's where it ends. And I always felt, well, that's kind of really not quite enough. And so that really didn't go away throughout my career. And so after my last postdoc and after a few years in research admin, I thought that maybe it's time to change gears and get more involved in knowledge translation. And so I decided to start my own business, a knowledge science communication business. And so it's called Science to Action.
Excellent. So if basically, what have your main lessons learned from this whole experience of starting your own business and moving into this path, basically? And I'm just asking that question just as an idea of many other trainees or junior scientists that are kind of following your same steps, that are going into different science careers and then decided that basically that's not really the academic path that they want. They want to more really engage with society and make a bigger impact. Mm-hmm. So what kind of advice would you provide to these different trainees or students?
So science policy is a little bit open-ended, of course. I mean, if you are just starting out, it might be a little bit unclear what this really is and what it all means and what a science policy job is. And so even though there are, of course, science policy analyst jobs with the government, that's not really the only possibility to get involved. So there are lots of ways to get involved in science policy. One, of course, obviously is this conference, but also it's possible to incorporate in your teaching. So at the moment I'm teaching a graduate course at Western University. And so it's about sustainability, but we have one session that is about science policy. So the students actually write a science policy brief as part of their written assignment. And I'm also creating a co-op opportunity for them so they can actually go and work with the federal government for 4 months. So I think that's exciting. And I think if I was a student, that's exactly what I would have liked to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested in creating capacity in science policy, really.
That's fantastic. So is this at the biology level only? Are you thinking maybe in the long run to kind of move that into other different fields in science?
It doesn't have to be biology at all. I mean, so that happens to be my passion, environment, biology, mm-hmm. but obviously we need scientists from all all disciplines.
So this core program is like basically that the one you're running is for different.
The co-op program is geared towards environmental sustainability.
Okay, got it. Excellent. So as a last question, basically, can you share with us your thoughts about the value of the CSPC?
Sure. So I think it's a perfect opportunity to network, really. And mm-hmm. so if you're interested to find out who is doing what in science policy in Canada, then that is the only place to go. So 3 years ago, I was on the program committee, which was great because I figured out who is doing what and who gets to talk to here. Mm-hmm. And so if you're interested in getting involved, then I would suggest volunteering at the next conference.
That's a good point. So finally, if there is a student that wants to get in contact with you, or or a person that wants to basically require your expertise in this area, so where they can contact you, basically?
They can find me on sciencetoaction.ca. Mm-hmm. That's my business name. If you Google it, I hope that'll be the only one that pops up.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you very much.
Hope you continue enjoying the conference.
Thank you.